The world is changing rapidly and you are standing still. In today's video, we are going to cover 3 problems that are going on right now and what you as an individual must do about it. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Let's get into it immediately. Look, you're going to see Jamie Dimon out there and he's actually now saying cash is a valuable asset. My friend Warren Buffett, he's holding on to this $200 billion of cash. What does he know that you don't? Uh-oh. And then on the other side of the equation, you've got Jimmy Boy Cramer. If you can buy Tesla at a discount, I would do it. It's a whole new story. Inverse Kramer index? Who knows? I'm going to show you several of these things. Watch. America is entering a new economic supercycle. Who do you believe? That's what this is all about. But instead of believing me, instead of believing Jimmy Boy Cramer, why don't we look at the actual data? That's going to tell us more than any of this. You can see certain stocks that are swinging like crazy. Imagine Tesla in a single day adding $149 billion to their market cap. It's absurd. Nvidia dethroning Apple as the world's most valuable company. This company over $3 trillion in market cap. Why? All the attention is on Nvidia and they've got so much demand. I know that. I've seen the stats. There's so much of it. And then the other side, you see hedge funds dump utility stocks at the fastest pace in history. Not everything is going up. What about gold? Oh, wait a second. We're going to talk about that here. But we need to look at the 3 problems, the 3 big problems, which are really all connected if you take it back to the source. But most people can't do that. I'm going to show you how we identify that. And then we're going to look at what you as an individual should be doing. You can see you don't need much of an excuse to move the market down. But excuses there were. Starting with bond yields. Oh, yes. They were supposed to come down. And then they go up. Well, what happened here is the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates. And then you see this rise is likely a reflection of the fact that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates fewer times than investors had thought. Uh-oh, they're not going to get zero interest rates again? Are we going to have to wait for a crisis? We better get some bad reports coming out, or the market's going to have a hissy fit. Right. So here it is. The Fed cuts, and this thing goes in the opposite direction. They're not too concerned about that, I guess. This is going to connect in with the next aspect. ASML, one of the most valuable companies in the world. Well, the CEO says, what does suppressing China have to do with national security? You see, what's going on here is ASML, because of the United States, they basically couldn't start selling their equipment to China because it's national security. And what he's basically saying is, we're not doing anything. We're not stopping anything. In fact, China has now achieved 3 nanometer. They're not the most advanced, but they said that this would stop them a long, long time. Don't worry, we're going to have so much of a head start. Not the case. Not the case at all. Okay? You have to understand. Give me a second here. I'm going to show you about the tariffs. We could do that right now. Trump threatening a 200% tariff on vehicles imported from Mexico. How that links in with our 3 problems. Okay? You've got this. Interest payments of the federal government. And you see that they have skyrocketed. We have the 3 problems. The deficit, the fiscal doom loop, as I'll cover in a second, and inflation. All of these 3, though, are really just one. You see, you have it here for yourself. The interest payments skyrocketing, absolutely skyrocketing, over $1 trillion. You can't pay that back. So who does? What does that do to inflation? Hang in there. World's $100 trillion fiscal time bomb keeps ticking. Now, this is global, but it's the same thing in the United States. When you account for the unfunded liabilities, you've heard the numbers, over $100 trillion. And the government doesn't deny that. They just say, no, that stuff is not on our books. Weird. Anyway, so we have this fiscal doom loop. Why? Because the government needs to spend more money. And so they spend spend that money they don't have, with the assumption that somebody's going to buy it up. It's going to be a domestic individual, it's going to be a bank, it's going to be a foreign investor, a hedge fund, Warren Buffett, whoever. Somebody is willing to buy up that debt. But what happens when there isn't a buyer? Well, what you do is you start to increase that interest rate. No buyers at 4%. Okay, let's do 5%. Let's do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's why you see a lot of developing nations, they have super high rates many times. They have much higher rates because that's the only way they can entice people. If it was super low, you wouldn't get those buyers coming in, right? They would say, hey, no thanks, I'm going to stick to the United States. I'm going to stick to some of the developed world because it's a little more secure. So now you start to have to entice people. Hey, there's so much of this debt out here. I don't need to, get it at 4%. Let me, do it at 5 or 6. So this is the problem. This is the fiscal spending doom loop. Hey, we need to spend more money. Hurry up. We need buyers for this stuff. And then you can have a crisis of confidence. Who then comes to buy it up? Well, of course, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve will be the buyer of last resort. You've heard that before. Individuals, because of inflation, this is the third thing, are dealing with this massive overspend. And we're talking about overspending on vehicles here, but that's just one thing. That's one of the key reasons why many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Can you see this? 65% of adults admitted they were living paycheck to paycheck. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right? The way that things are set up are for you to fail. That's why I took the initiative many years ago to say, I'm going to burn the midnight oil, if that's what it takes, in order to ensure that I have multiple streams of income. Most people can't, most people won't, but this is what you got to do. Empty tables and rising costs push more restaurants into bankruptcy. Understand that small businesses are dealing with the same situation too. You have to think outside the box. You have to act. Now we're not being proactive anymore. We're being reactive. So get stuff straight. Whether it's because of tariffs, whether it's because of taxes, whether it's whatever, it doesn't matter. Something's going to hit you, and it already has, but it's going to be like a pile on in a football game, a rugby match, where you're going to have to deal with that, and you're not prepared. Don't be like that, okay? We need to take it action. You're watching the Money GPS. I'm sure you are. How do we do so? Pillars of prosperity. 2 things. Number 1, become more self-sufficient. Number 2, increase your income as best you can. You see gold. Gold is showing what NVIDIA stock is not. Like there's 2 very opposing things here. Gold hovers near fresh record on Mideast and election uncertainty. Gold stratospheric rise signals disaster ahead for the world financial order. And that brings us to this. We are in a very different time. I'll show you this really quickly. 3 things. BRICS summit. Members discuss financial plans as Putin calls for USD alternative. And there was this, there's this new currency. Not exactly, okay? So President Putin presents a banknote of a single BRICS currency, which replaces the dollar. Here it is. It's symbolic. This is not current. This is not the currency. They're not going to start using this right now. It's symbolic to say we are not in the mood for US dollars. We don't want that. Okay, you keep sanctioning all of us, and we don't want any part of that. This is us. We are together. So what does that signal? A multipolar world order. That's his words. A multipolar world order. They're going to do away with the U.S. financial system. Does that mean that the U.S. dollar is going to crash tomorrow? Does that mean the U.S. banking system is over and done? No. But what it does mean is the changes are coming. The best days, the good old days, they're behind us. More inflation is going to come. More difficulty is going to come. And the chance of a revitalization is very small, slim to none. So don't hope for that. Don't plan for that. Hope for the best, right? But don't plan for that. Plan for a situation in which you're going to have some difficulty, and then hopefully you'll be able to turn it around. If you want to know what to do right away, I got this Finance Friday giveaway where you can hear it directly from me for 2 hours on this Friday. Right now, you're hearing this. You could join me for 2 hours on the Finance Friday. Join the giveaway, totally free. After a few days, you will get notified if you won, okay? Not that many people are actually doing it. Why not? Get on in, learn from me directly. If you want more depth, I do have my own live sessions on Friday and on Sunday. But look, this is what you can do. Very few things that people are actually taking action on. We have a minute here. Let's talk about it. Number one thing is that you got to reduce your expenses anywhere you can. Anywhere you can. Look at everything. Get all the line items, go through it, and X those off. Do you need 17 different streaming services? Probably not. Stick to one, and that's it. Look at the things that you have in your house that have some residual value that, be honest with yourself, you're not going to use it. Sell those things. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever it might take. Get rid of those things. Okay? Then you could start to do things on the side. Do you know how to bake? Do you know how to sew? Do you know how to fix cars? Do you know how to wash windows? Make some money. You don't have to wait for me to give you permission. But if you want it, I'll give you permission right now. Go, go, go. Do not delay. You should be able to make $1,000 in the next month. So here we are towards the end of October. Go next month in November and make $1,000. You can do it. There's no question between all the things I just mentioned that you can't make $1,000 right now in the next month. Is it sustainable this way? No, scrounging and scavenging. No. But you can do it. At least get that. Okay, now you got a little buffer. Now what's the next step? I would do things. I have many different things. I'm doing all kinds of things right now. I have so many different businesses. But for you, you could start an Amazon business. You could flip products. You can fix cars. You can wash whatever. It doesn't matter to me. If you want my advice, you can come into Sunday Business Live and you could see that for yourself. I've got my course. I've got all these different things. Compass is free. Take it. You start from there. Start from Compass, themoneygps.com/compass. And learn the absolute foundational basics, and then you go from there. Okay, I'm still here, even when I'm sick, doing two live sessions this weekend, 2 hours each, coughing through the whole thing. But I am here, I am committed, and I hope that you will find your situation to be better, okay? That's what I want for you. You've got to, join me on the giveaway. There's a link in the description if you want to get the giveaway, or go to the live, themoneygps.com/live, and you could get to me directly. We just had a couple new members join. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time. Take care.